What's happening, guys? Welcome back to episode 4, picking up from the Nexus. So before we hop on over to our next location, there are going to be a few things here to cover. So if you go on over to
Hello
Stockpile
again.
Thomas,
I'm keeping a
go through
close
his
tab on
dialogue,
you.
you're going to have to do this a few times most likely.
I wish I could do more.
Just walk away,
You have a heart of gold.
go back.
That ornament, then she didn't make me ask a favor. Would you mind giving me that here?
So he's going to eventually ask you for the jade hair ornament that we got in 1-1 when we dropped the bodies down from the chains in the tower. If you guys may recall, we got the armor set, we got the spice, and we got the jade hair ornament. Well, this belonged to his wife. Giving this to him, he's going to give you a ring that allows you to actually carry more items before you need to deposit those into your storage. But you do need it for your platinum. So, ring of Herculean strength.
It seems. Anyway.
So, right there. So if you wanted to put this on, you would be able to carry more items in your inventory. So it's not your weight capacity, it's going to be your item capacity, right? So it could serve a purpose, but if you're smart and you're going to do what we're going to do, where we go through an area, we come back, we do our build maintenance, we're doing storage, we're doing upgrades, and we're just going through everything.
Hello again. I'm keeping
So actually, to that end, let's go ahead and put up anything we're not using. Now, you're going to have, especially after this episode, you're going to have quite a few boss souls or just rare demon souls. Excuse me. I could not swallow for whatever reason. I couldn't breathe for a second. Getting old, I guess. Either way, all of these are going to be covered, but until we get our special merchants as far as your spell merchant to turn in boss souls or your miracle merchant to turn in boss souls, we're just going to cover all this at once because we still don't even have the blacksmith for boss weapons. So once we have access to everybody, we're going to go over all of your boss souls and what we need them for. I will say this: colorless demon soul is for special weapon and boss weapon upgrades. That's what you upgrade these with. Do not ever do anything with. Some are for spells needed for platinum, some are for miracles needed for platinum, some are for really cool weapons. So once we have access to the guys we actually turn them into, I can show you the items we'll get. We will cover them. As far as the walkthrough, put them in storage, forget about them. Trust me on this. You will end up regretting this if you pop them. There's a few that we can pop because they don't have a purpose. Like we talked briefly about taking out the dragon at 1-1, so you actually be able to get all the items he was kind of lording over. Well, we do that at the end of this episode. His soul isn't for anything. So with that being said, there are a few you can pop, but when it comes to your special ones, we're not touching this stuff, guys. It's very, very important to put those in storage. Now, I did say that I was not going to upgrade our bow off camera because I don't want to do anything off camera. So this is pretty basic, but just to cover upgrades. So you come over here for basic upgrades. You get to like +6, +7 with this guy. Can't do anything else. You can't fully max out weapons. You can't make any special weapons, but you can get basic upgrades. Now, we do need to take out the dragon from range with a bow. Even spellcasters, you need a bow because it's going to be hard to hit him with your spell. So there's a way to kind of get cheesy and sit towards a very specific area on the bridge, and you can kind of swipe at him with your weapon when he goes by. It's very difficult. So the bow is going to be the better, the better thing. And I'll show off both, but the bow is that's what we want to do. It's the better way to do this. However, it's really going to take a long time if you do not have upgrades. So we're going to take this as high as we can get it. So we're missing 1 Hearthstone shard. Simple fix. What we're going to do is jump on over to World 2-1. But that's it, guys. As long as you have the materials, you go to him. It's like 500. An upgrade early on, and you'll be able to get your stuff up. Now, for weapons, we want to get weapons to +6 so we can take either the faith or the magic path to get, magic damage on physical weapons. But I'm so used to going there. But ranged weapons, we want to get our bow to +7 to make that special weapon. So +6 for melee, +7 for bow to get a very powerful bow later. Yeah, we'll cover this again, but just so you guys know what you're working towards. You take it too far, you're going to have to bring your weapon all the way back down and go through it all over again. And obviously that's going to cost a lot of materials and a lot of souls. So you do need to kind of know what's going on and what you're working towards. So +3 is good enough. +4 would be better. We would have to get more materials for this. But +3 I think is good enough. I know you want weapon upgrades too, and they're coming. When we do World 2, which is pretty much next, they are coming. But the bow is more important right now. Melee is holding up just fine, in my opinion. So to actually get up to +4, we're going to need 6 Hardstones. That's it. So we'll see if we can get them. We might get lucky. And while we're here, that should give us enough to get an arrow. We're going to need at least 125 arrows. So if you go over here, he will sell them. What if we get 65? That's not going to be enough. I'm trying not to pop more of these than I had to, but we gotta, we gotta make sure we have enough arrows to accomplish what we're after. Now we could even do this towards, later on in the episodes. The dragon's the last thing, it's the last thing we're doing, guys. But it does need done. Might as well just, get it over and done with. So 105, be 118, to be 120. Yeah, that's enough between all of these. It'll be fine. So put on those, put on those. It's not even going to take the full amount. It'll probably take 80, but you got to remember you might miss some shots too, and you need to be prepared for that. If you leave to go buy more arrows, it's going to reset the dragon's health. It's very bad. It takes like fucking 10 minutes to, get this off, so it's not good. Either way, guys, jumping on over to the Lord's Path. So like I told you guys before, there is a very specific way we want to move forward. And for the most part, we're going to just kind of do the worlds evenly as we go. However, there are some instances where we might want to take one world a little bit further. So we're going to go ahead and complete 1, 1, 1, 2, and then move on. And there's really good reason behind this, which we will cover. So we showed you guys the farm at the end of the last episode. So these guys can drop hardstone, sharpstone, even large hardstone and sharpstone. So for early on upgrades, this is the best spot unless you want to farm souls. Go to World 2-1 and buy, spend 500 souls per stone. I think Providential Ring, spending a good 15-20 minutes here, just do you much better, So I guess just to kind of do this in order. I was typically going to talk to Strava last, but he's right here. So on the left-hand side, if you go all the way down, if you've done everything properly, up to this point, Strava will be here, and his whole quest is you finding him in different stages of Boletaria where he needs an escort. He needs you to kill enemies that are trying to kill him or block him in. So this is just the next instance of that happening, right? So once we go ahead and exhaust his dialogue, we'll finish clearing up the area. So over here on the left, we can pick up 3 healing items. Oh, and also, another thing, at the end of this episode, we're going to have the farm for healing items. So we can all spend, however long it takes to really stock up. Because I think that's smart, since healing's limited here in Demon Souls. At the end of this episode, there's 2 Blue-Eyed Knights back to back. Each of them drop at least 2 heals per time. So you can do it like 10 times, it's 40 heals. You know what I mean? So really be easy for us all to get up to like 50 heals or 75 heals. And that would, carry us a long way, The reason we're doing a faith build is because we have regenerated, our weapons will regenerate our health, our shield will regenerate our health, so that will help. But we also have, the heal miracle up here that we can use to heal ourselves. So it's all about just staying alive, guys. And still a really cool build, very powerful too. But that's, that's the basis of our build. Everything's about giving us health. So what you're going to do here is just go to the charred bodies. Do not worry about the items. As mentioned, we're going to get rid of the red dragon for once and for all. This is the same dragon that was going over the last bridge. So once we get him down, we'll run through this bridge, get all the items, and then we'll go back to 1-1 and get all the items he was guarding there as well. But for now, they're not going anywhere. So just ignore them. Just going to get yourself killed. Man, one-shot them. I told you, even if you aren't doing a magic build, Crescent Falchion's like the best weapon early on for everybody. Strength, dex, faith doesn't matter. Until you get better stuff, it's going to carry you just fine. Another reason we're not so worried about weapon upgrades and we're more worried about bow upgrades. Once the bow's done, it's done. We just got to get to +7 and that's what we're going. So this is how we're going to take out the dragon. We're just going to come to this tower. If you go to your settings, you can put your zoom to lock on and set bows. So you just tap it and you just sit here and hit it with arrows as he flies by. Pretty simple. Just takes a while is the thing. That's why we're not going to do it on camera. I'm going to set you guys up. You kill your dragon, I'll kill mine, and we'll get back to it. Either way, guys, once you have got your first tower, you've cleared the upper portion. We're going to go on down. Now, this is where I told you guys to save onto all your souls if you wanted the Claymore. One of the best, great swords in the game. It's really good. It'll carry the whole game. It costs 6,000 souls to get, which seems really expensive, but you gotta remember, for a weapon that you can use your whole playthrough, that's a steal, you won't have to get another one. Best quality, one of the best strength weapons. There's going to be crazy choices, but it's a very solid choice. We'll get that down here. I'm going to show you a farm for it too, but you might have to farm forever. It will save you 6,000 souls, so it's up to you guys. We still have, quite a bit we could pop here, probably 4,000 or 5,000. So we can probably still pull it off right now, but I'm just going to try to farm it myself. Plus, like I said, there's other stuff. So I'm going to use what I got to use and try to save on my upgrades. That way, when I find a weapon, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. I'll have, you know, all the materials. We have plenty of weapons that'll just buy our time. You know what I mean? All right. So as you go on over to the left, there's a few guys, a lot of archers more than anything else. And this will correspond with the Strava's quest line. We can pick up some pretty cool stuff too. So, gas resistance, obviously needed for platinum. The all ring achievement. It's going to help you with blood loss build-up. It's your blood loss defensive ring.
Time to forge ahead.
Strava will tell you it's time to forge ahead, so he is good. Alright, now if you were to backtrack all the way to a gate, you see that gate? That's where we actually came from, right there on the right. So now anything past this point has not been done. There are going to be enemies here. A few jump outs is, you know, typical. I think it's the next corner. Where is it? Yep, right here. Just use that shield. You do want to be very, very cautious moving forward. In fact, I'd recommend going ahead and putting on the thief ring if you're worried about it, because there's going to be a bunch of dogs, which they're going to just fucking stunlock you and utterly destroy you if you were not very careful. However, with the thief ring, I guess we could show it off. I like my providential for getting items, but just temporarily. Well, actually, we do need this for the boss, too. We'll just fuck it. We'll leave it on. We'll get drops. Either way, once you get to about right this barricade, just up ahead, there's a pack of dogs. If they start staggering attacks, meaning one attacks and a second later the other, a second later the other, they're going to lock you down and just utterly destroy you. Fire bombs, mage with your spells, all this works good, but great shields, thief ring. We're going to bring one at a time. He's going to bounce off our shield, then we're going to one-shot him. Just like that. Now, if he doesn't bounce off the shield, he'll take 2 hits, I think. So, and just slowly go up. That's it. You're trying not to aggro all at once. Easy peasy. Hell, we didn't even take any damage. Pretty good, pretty good. Aside, like, chip damage from our shield only being at 90 physical instead of 100, but you know what I mean. Those guys actually killed me like 3 times steady my first time playing. I actually turned the game off. I'm like, yep, this game's not for me. I was so annoyed by it, bro. I was so annoyed by it. But yeah, there's just ways to do things, make it easier. So this can be your same merchant, the Dragling. The only difference now is he has all the same shit. So the early game armor set for soldier, the mini shields, the small shields, light crossbow, spear, club longsword, all that is the same. However, if you go just past that, now he has late moongrass, pine resin, broadsword, which does have 120 blood loss. Remember, blood loss is, you know, kind of lackluster in this game, but still 2 HP a second, you know, just constant draining on boss's health. It's just the weapon's damage isn't the best because it's a smaller weapon, but it is, you know, it's a nice early game choice. Don't get me wrong, it could carry the whole game. I just, you know, I wouldn't recommend it. But regardless, you also are going to have the Claymore. Claymore is outstanding. 20 strength requirement, which we did meet, because this is one of the weapons I want to play with. But if not, there's other weapons we're going to want that strength and dex up a bit for. So with that being said, physical attack, you're doing, you know, at 117 with our stats right now. On upgrade, right? And then you can make like a Blessed Claymore, where it has built-in magic damager. Crescent Claymore does built-in magic damage plus your physical, so it's got a lot of stuff going on, guys. A lot of stuff. Really phenomenal weapon, but it does cost 6,000 souls. Once again, it's one of the best swords in the game. Even though it's just, you know, basic physical weapon, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's just really expensive, and I am going to show you guys another way to get it. It's just, if you don't want to feel like buying it, you're going to have, who knows, it could take you an hour to farm it. You don't know. Either way, going up from the merchant, right there, we get a little bit more arrows and another bow with lesser requirements. So if you didn't have the, what was it, 16 and 20, what was it, 22 strength, 12 dex, this one is 18 strength and 10 dex. So it's a little bit more friendly to an early game build. It might be going magic or might be going something else. And like I told you before, even if you're going magic, there are some things you need to vote for. It's really important regarding trophies and honestly just making some things easier, or spells just don't hold up as well. They can't, you know, they can't target an enemy as far away. This is going to be important eventually. Either way, guys, with that, don't worry about everything on the bridge. We've already discussed this before. We're just going to keep on working down the line. So you got one more stretch before your boss. We'll be getting all this stuff next episode. I know it's kind of hard to ignore it. And we could probably get it, but if it's going to get to the point of putting people at risk, I just don't see reason for doing that, and I can take away all the risk for you guys, and guarantee you're gonna be all right and get all the stuff. Right, there's gonna be 2 blue eyes here. Back up. Thank you. Thanks for healing. So when we take out the boss, we're going to get a fast travel point right by that fog, so you can like rest, kill, blue eye, rest, blue eye, and just keep resting and wiping these 2 out. Every time you kill each, you get 2 healing items. So that's what I said. You rest, kill, do it like 10 times. You get 40 heals, guys. It's really good. So that's going to be our farm. But they can also, each of them, drop the claymore. Thank you. It is a rare drop. You're definitely going to want the providential ring. So at this point, this is going to be your boss fog for the Tower Knight, or next main story boss. But before we go for him, we still need to go upstairs and grab some pretty good stuff. So Crystal Lizard almost immediately. So remember, these guys can drop like Hardstone or Sharpstone. None of it's guaranteed. They have a chance of dropping either. Some locations will drop different stuff, but right now in World 1, that's typically what they'll drop. That one specifically will drop large, hard, or Sharpstone. Typically. Like I said, it does have some kind of luck to it, if you will. Stone of Infernal Eyes. Renowned Warrior. We're going to roll all enough. Alright. Now, to talk about the boss, the Tower Knight, this fight's got more than meets the eye. It's actually very easy. The way we're going to play this is going to be extraordinarily easy. You can still get caught and get killed quickly and easily, but it's not so bad. Now, the thing of it is with the Tower Knight, there is the trophy for taking him out, but there's also a hidden achievement. So in this fight, you're fighting a really big guy. There's a balcony full of archers. If you want to make the fight easier, you kill the archers and take him out. Doing so, you're only going to get the regular trophy. So the hidden trophy is for taking him out without killing any archers. So to that end, going in here with the Thief Ring will obviously be very beneficial if you want both trophies. Now, since it takes 3 playthroughs to get a platinum because you can't get all of your spells in one, you could just, do it the easier way now, get more comfortable and familiar with the game, and then, in your second run, second character, do it this way, you get your other achievement. But it's not that bad because while they still fire arrows at you, like I said, it's not going to be like it typically is. So I don't think it should be giving you guys too much of an issue. But the Thief Ring will help exponentially. Now, the Tower Knight's a really big guy. Great shield like us, but it's giant. It's like the size of that fucking statue. And he'll kind of slam it down, does an AoE burst of magic. He's got a spear he might try to whack at you with. So what you're going to do is you're just going to try to run on in the fight, stay behind him, whack on his ankles. Try to dodge through the rest. If it does a shield slam, what you're going to do is just run away backwards to get away from the AoE, then run back in. And to find success here, I think it's really just knowing when to stay close and when to back up. So, like I said, he does his bullshit, you run backwards, then run back in to attack his ankles. Once one ankle starts glowing blue, it's going to have like a stream of magic releasing, start working on his other ankle as you've already done the damage necessary to weaken him. Once both ankles have taken enough damage, he's going to fall. Be careful when he falls. It does do a little AoE burst, small one, which can hurt you, knock you on the ground. And the reason that's really bad is that's going to take off the time you have to really cause damage, because once he is on the ground, we're just going to whack his head. We should be able to get him down in one drop. That's it. If we can drop him once, we're good. Go in here with a lot of healing items. Preferably use your bigger ones. If you get caught, it can give you some trouble. And also, when we drop him, make sure you two-hand your weapon so we can get the most amount of damage we can. As mentioned, you can go for the archers, guys, to make it easier. But you're not going to get the other trophy. So you just do that on your second run, though. And you can dodge to do that. It's just difficult. That's why I say it's probably better to just run away. Yeah, and that's the other thing he can do, just like out of fucking nowhere. What he's going to do is just kind of jump. It's not a slam, it's actual jump. And you can also block with your shield, guys. Yeah, see, out of nowhere, there's a jump. Let's try to heal, try to get hit. Roll right into it, right? Yep, get up. It takes so long to get up in this game. I think that's the other thing that makes things difficult. Alright, get back. Kind of roll away. We're going to two-hand our weapon and bash on his fucking head here. Now look, he's dead. It didn't take yet because he has to get that animation to stand. Go and just, I think you don't even need to smack him once. Just smack him once to be sure. I think he just kind of loads back in from that animation and just dies. So as always, like I told you, it'd be really easy, guys. As long as you don't get caught too much. But putting him down is, it's not difficult. As always, interact with your fast travel point. I guess we can call it a bonfire, just for the sake of being a FromSoft game. Now, after you get his boss soul, we are in human form. We do not want to stick here long. We may be invaded and then fuck up world tendency. But just to get a few things, as you're going up to this door here, a thick colorless fog holds you back. Only those who have slain an archdemon may pass beyond this point. So what that's telling you is you need to fully complete any of the other worlds. Then you'll be able to progress past that point once you've defeated one of the final bosses from the other worlds. Now, we'll obviously be covering this more, but it's just not wanting you to progress World 1 too far because actually the final boss of the game is here towards the end. Now, since all these guys just kind of died on their own, they can drop items, souls, healing, cleansing items. God, how bad is our luck? We haven't seen one drop yet. Usually you'll get like 3 or 4, I haven't seen any yet. There we go. So, like I said, since they did die, let's run around and make sure we get our, our drops that we can pick up. It all adds up. It's all going to help. Once you've done full circle, then, we'll go back to the Nexus, get in soul form, spend our souls, and just, get set up for what we want to close out with. Like I said, I got to get you guys set up for that dragon. We're not going to spend fucking 15 minutes on camera firing arrows, but we're going to show you guys how to do it. We'll close out there. Then we'll load in next episode. Once Shaw's dragon's dead, mine's dead, and then we'll just, finish clearing the area. So from here, we're only popping regular souls here, guys. That's it. Do not touch Iron Demon. That's needed for platinum. And that's the other thing. Until we meet the merchants and, the blacksmith for boss souls, I said we weren't really going to talk about them. But if you don't know, you shouldn't go pop stuff. That's what I told you guys. It's going to be easier and make more sense if I could actually show you what items you're going to get for you guys to make a choice. But it's important to just put all of them up. Now, the soul we're going to get from the dragon we could spend because no weapons, no spells, but if it's not a situation like that, guys, we're not taking chances. So as far as stats, recommended build, after you get that, 20 for weapon requirements, 16 for bow and weapon requirements, that's done. We're stopping. This is going to go to 20 for now. This is going to go to 20 for now. Then we're probably going to either bring, hopefully bring that to 15, then get into our damage. But I want to get our damage sooner. I would say at least get health to 20, endurance to at least 15 for now at least. Then we'll get that damage in a better spot. And then we'll, start getting heavily into this, then just staying damage for the rest of the game. Now, in between, we do need to get magic to 10, as there's a few spells we need for the series. But since this isn't really going with our build, even though I always talk so much shit about farming for levels, I would say don't do it over in your playthrough. We're not doing a magic build, so we just need a few magic stats as far as picking up spells for platinum and getting spells to help us with defensive measures. So I'm just going to show you farms till we get to 4 levels. We're not going to get a bunch of levels in Demon Souls. The game's not that long, so I don't want wasting. I don't want to waste 4 levels. So I would hold off on it. But on an end game build, we're looking at 30, 20, 25, 230, even 40, depending on your armor if you can pull it off. These are good. We want this to 30 and this to 10. So that, that's the goal. Now, what we do first and when we do it, that's where, it does take a little bit of thought, right? But that is what we're after because damage in this game, 30 is all you need. You don't need to go above 30. If you can, cool. But you're just not going to get the levels. Even doing all the world events, even being very meticulous like we're doing and clearing your areas in full, killing every single enemy, it's just not going to happen. You're not even going to reach level 100. Like I said, the game's not big enough. You're not getting enough souls. Farming, yes. But without farming, no. Unfortunately. For a while, at the first portions of the game, it just feels like, God, this game might be big. It takes a while to get kind of started on everything. And then once you've done like the first portion of every world, you just start knocking shit out. You know, it's just kind of how it goes. It's cool, but that's just kind of how it goes. So now that we're in soul form, we'll run back for a measly 600 souls because it all does add up, and there's not much levels. So you know, we'll make sure we have our stuff. I mean, you can get a good build: 30 health, you know, 25 endurance, 30 in your damage stat, and a couple other stats being boosted for other things. It's more than you need, and you can still put together some very interesting builds. So I do want to make sure we're clear on that. But yeah, it's just not your typical Souls game. This was the very first one. It's not as big as the others. Either way, guys, now that we have that done, we'll go ahead and check our bow upgrades. I don't think
Trade with your souls.
we have the stones. We didn't get lucky enough to get them, did we? Oh, we never even put in our upgrades? I swore we put those in. The hell? Oh, that's definitely the wrong bow. I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck? I swore we upgraded this. Yeah, 5 Heartstones short. That will cost us 2,500 souls. World 2-1, we can just go and pick those up. Or we can just try to farm them from the farm I showed you. So either way, guys, before we wrap up, we're going to get you guys set up for the dragon, but we're also just going to quickly go over farms again. So, for anyone that's tuning in late, Lord's Path. We showed this one last episode. Still want to show it. It's very viable right now. And after really we leave here, we won't ever have to worry about this farm again. But if you can get your bow to +4, it's going to help. And then start stocking up on some hard stones for when we get into our weapon. That's going to help. It's not something you have to do. I will say when we get to World 2, which is coming next, after next episode, that it's all about getting basic upgrades. There's a lot there. It kind of costs a lot to get one weapon upgraded, but you definitely have enough to get one weapon up there, you know what I mean? And there'll be a bit of farming there too, but there's like a pit. It's called the Lizard Pit, where those crystal lizards give us upgrades. There's literally like fucking 20 of them in there, and you can kill them as much as you like, so it makes things easier. And then, because it is a smithing grounds, all the enemies there are dropping upgrades, and they're all over the place. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. We just really want our bow a little bit stronger for the dragon, but the upgrades are going to become very, very short. So we didn't get any, but you guys see the gist of it. So like I said before, hardstone, you can get sharpstone, you can get large hardstone, you can get large sharpstone. It's a very, very viable farm until you have access to other areas. So now that we have shown that off, we're going to be jumping on back to Inner Ward. Now we're talking about this before in World Tendency. You start the game in neutral. Pure white is up 3, pure black is down 3 from neutral. So what that means is if I want to get to pure white, I need to kill 3 bosses without taking any deaths in human form. Phalanx, Tower Knight, and then the dragon will count as a third to get us to pure white. So if you were at neutral, pure black would be dying in human form 3 times, right? Or killing named NPCs and things of that nature. But that's one way to think of it. 3 up, 3 down, right? 3 positive actions, 3 negative actions. That's the best way I could, actually describe it. So actually, before we even get started, let's go back to Providential. Boost item discovered. So if you don't want to pay the 6,000 souls for your claymore, you can just farm it from these guys. It could take you forever. It could be first try. Farming is farming. Just depends on what kind of luck you have. So to that end, like I said, every time you come through here and kill the Blue Knights, you're going to get at least 4 heals. It could be like the mid-tier heals we're trying to get, or it could be heals that are even better than that, but you will at least get 4 every time. So you could get 4 half moons, or you could get like some full moons and half moons. But that is essentially the farm. And sometimes you could actually farm this lizard like a few times before he goes. Yep. Now if we rest one more time, he might not be here. I don't know exactly. Some people know much more about the game's mechanics than me, even with spending as much time as I spent with it. And I do feel like I know about everything. There's some people are just experts about this shit. So I couldn't tell you how many times the crystal lizards respawn in the same spot. I could tell you can typically kill them, once before the boss and then after the boss a few times. But I don't think all of them are infinite, right? They do have a limit to how many times you can farm them. Once again, in World 2, there is a pit of them which are infinite. They'll keep coming and coming and coming. But just in general, I don't think that they're all infinite. There's usually some kind of, limit to this. Just show it off again. If you look at our tendency, it's not neutral anymore. It's not pure white. You'll know pure white, but we'll pull that up for you guys here in a second. Which will be covered in this episode too. But I want to make sure you guys know. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. It gets white. It's one of those colors. So if you look at the worlds from Archstone of the Digger King over to the right, all these are neutral. We haven't been there. So on the far left, if you notice, it kind of has like a pearlescent look to it. And that's what pure white's going to look. It's very, very pretty pearl color. Now, once we bring the world up one more level with killing the dragon, you're going to be in pearl white, and it's really, or pure white, it's really going to shine. And, you know, you'll definitely know. But you can definitely tell when you step in the world, for sure. You don't know by your actions, you can just kind of look at that as a guide. 2 more large hardstones, not bad. Then we're going to do this one more time before we set you up for the dragon. So we've covered farms on early game upgrades, farms on healing items, and then obviously the farm on the claymore itself. These guys could also drop, the lower level enemies could also drop daggers, crescent grass, the sartan grass. And they can also drop little flowers that cleanse status effects. So lotus, I usually like the bloodloss lotus. Good God, this damage is so respectable. That's up there, bub. There we go. Got our heal back. I'm gonna go take him. And you don't even have to kill the little guys. Oh, they're about to kill us. Yeah, you don't have to kill the little guys. You could probably just run, take, blue eyes down, then haul us out of there. That's it. Just really stock up on them. So like I said, once you get to 50 heals, the rest will go in storage. That would be my recommendation, guys. Get to like 75. It'd probably take you 10 minutes. I mean, if you farmed here for 10 minutes, I promise to God, those heals, if you're being careful and you're just not being super sloppy about it, those heals would probably carry you fucking 60% of the game. We do just kind of come back here in our own time here and there and just stock up on this stuff, but that's the farm. Now, to get best setup for the dragon, I do believe the Lord's Path is going to be best. Otherwise, you have quite a bit to backtrack. Yeah, just make sure you have those arrows stocked up, right? So you have 104 there, 13, 117, 5 holy, 6 arrows. So, yeah, we got over 120. Now, when I told you guys 125, that's to be safe, you know? You don't have to have 125 arrows. If you don't have your upgrades, you might even need more. But if you're at like +3, +4, that gives you enough arrows where if you miss a few shots, you don't have to go buy more. Because if you get him almost dead, you run out of fucking arrows, and then you go buy more, guess what? His whole health is coming back. Now, there is some kind of cheese where if you go here to like this body right here, right at his foot, check it out. It's hard. Dragon might even hit you, but yeah, like I said, it's difficult. You could actually take him out melee. So if you run out of arrows and you almost have him dead, you can do this. Like I said, it's tricky. Is it the second body? I think it might be right here. It's right at his foot. Yeah, but I didn't time it. I'm going to show you guys at least once. It should be right around. It's not exact, you know. It's just within this range. Yeah, I'm getting too close. I did kill him like this before. It's just, you know, it's been a minute. Somewhere like right here. Kind of near the wall. It's really hard. Yeah. So if you lock on and see a number, you've done it. But the fact that he didn't hit us tells me we probably got it. No, we missed. I'm telling you. Is it his kneecap? It's like right here, I'm telling you. But yeah, I ran out of arrows and he was like, I have 1-2 hits left. This is exactly how I took him down. We didn't get it, but it might be like right here at the foot. I just couldn't remember if it's the foot of the first body or the second. Regardless, it's possible. You'll probably see a million YouTube videos of it. So, like I said, if you run out of arrows, that is one way to do it as well. And if you have blood loss, even though it's not much damage over time, it's probably enough to really make a difference. So what we're going to be doing is going to our first tower. Clearing out our guys so we can set up. Now, like I said, we're going to get you guys set up for the dragon. Y'all do your dragon, do mine. time because this will take you about 10-15 minutes. Honestly, it's really not that bad. So my recommendation is to go to settings, put your trigger to hold. I'm sorry, you don't have to hold down your trigger. Was it lock? Yeah, put it on lock. That way I can just tap L2. Now if you're careful, you could actually get 2 errors per run, cut your time in half. But you gotta account for the drag, right? So you see that damage was 43, while it was first at 17, because I landed both errors. So that will cut your time in half, but it's probably better to sit here and do one at a time, so you could, be 100% certain you're not gonna run out of arrows. So y'all go ahead and handle y'all dragon, I'll handle mine. We will catch y'all back in the next episode to go over our rewards for the dragon. Clear this bridge, clear where the dragon was in 1-1, and then knock out all of your pure white World Tennessee events up to this point.